Where's it at?
I'm sorry.
What will the effect?
I've done 5 programs today. I only got one after this one, and I get a little tired. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got lost. I had somebody pop up, and I lost the question. Then I have to go back and look. What will the effect?
We'll remember it. Give me another one, and we'll come back to it. Promise.
What will the effect of contracts written before?
Oh, yeah. That's it. And logic tells us that if there's a 1 for 3, and the dollar is devalued by 2/3, which I think is reasonable, then one would think logically the government would say all contracts, all loans will be reduced by 2/3. But we don't have a logical government, and we don't have logical people who control our government. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope that they do reduce the debt level by the same percentage. Because if they don't, they're going to have revolution on their hands. And I don't think they're going to want that while they get a third world war going on.
And this brings up the next question from South Texas. One of your subscribers comes forth and asks Mr. Chapman if Israel says they're going to wipe out, Iran says it's going to wipe out Israel off the map, are China and Russia also telling Iran to cool it as well as the United States, or else?
Well, I think that the position of China and Russia is that, look, we have treaties with Iran, and we don't want you to attack them. They're not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. And if you do, we'll be obliged to attack you. They've already said that. And in fact, they reiterated it again I think it was this past week or this week. Maybe it was on Monday or Tuesday. A general, I had the tape in the forecaster, and of course, it wasn't in English, it was interpreted. But there's your answer. It's pretty simple. And, nobody wants to see that, but the people who control things, the bankers and Wall Street and insurance companies and transnational conglomerates, they don't care about that. They figure, well, all these people are going to get killed, but we're going to be in our shelters underground. And many of you people out there in the military know about these places where these people will go to hide. Because you had to have been involved, because some of you had to have been in conjunction with these places that are secret, that politicians and the rich intend to hide in. Well, all I can tell them is, something? Sometime you're going to have to come out and deal with us.
Could you please ask Mr. Chapman what he thinks gold will do after China announces that they're picking up the last of the IMF gold?
Yeah, they did that today, and they were just trying to get it cheaper, and they blew it on the first amount, and they didn't think India was going to come in and grab 200 tons. And I don't know what they're going to pay for it. They said it would be at an auction, and they'll probably pay something close to market-related prices. And so that's very important because they're going to pay for it with dollars, and they have about, approximately $2 trillion worth of U.S. securities, treasuries. And I don't know whether they'd have to sell some of those to do that, but I think they will take that. And that's really a milestone, because there is no other large amounts that size that could be for sale that we know of. And so that means if anybody else wants to buy a lot of gold at one time, they're not going to be able to do it. And then, we've had real problems in the COMEX and the LBMA in London shorting gold by selling it to people, and they don't have the gold. And that's a scandal waiting to happen. And now that gold is going to go to China, that means that they're going to have an even harder time finding the gold to be able to complete the contracts that they've made with people. And that means that the COMEX and the LBMA, which are the futures markets, and the LBMA is in London, may very well blow up. And if they do, gold will go crazy. And it's going to happen sooner or later.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and I will get back to this gentleman's question from the Marine Corps chat room about Venezuela gold mines, and we'll ask that when we come back from the break, guys. We're going to go off about a minute ahead of schedule. We'll be back in about 5.5, 6 minutes. I want you all to get your questions in the chat room, put them in capital letters, or send me an email or an instant message to Drew Rains and Yahoo Instant Messenger. And remember, this is your show, guys. This is from a military man, a former United States Army person who believes in supporting you. He is the most plagiarized forecaster in the international monetary market. So you got a question in place, this is it. Come and ask, because the times are changing, and you need to be prepared for the change of what's happening. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A Marines Disposition, and I've got some fantastic news from a friend of mine out there, and I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it works great when you network and you tirelessly get information out there, and I've got tears in my eyes because I've been praying hard for fellow Marines out there to get involved, and now, today, I've got the first of 23 former military who served in Vietnam getting the first letter from people that I've been networking with that got a letter stating that they have been presented their 100% disability for their PTSD. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's great news in the sense that this family needed those funds, and they're going to take those funds and put a lot of that into the investment. These people listen to this show, and they thank me for the fact that I bring on the man of the hour, Mr. Bob Chapman. They know that Mr. Chapman is telling the truth, and they know that this is the place to come and get the information. So with that, we're going to go back to the last question from the Marine out there from Venezuela who comes in. He says, Mr. Chapman, if you didn't know this, many people, those of us at the American Embassy here in Venezuela have known this for several months now. The gold mines are now gone back into production, with some of the gold mines being ran by Russian companies. There's a couple of companies from Canada that are down here mining gold, and there seems to be more gold being discovered here in Venezuela, with the Chavez taking a chunk of the gold into his coffers. Gold is being refined and put onto the open market. What effect is that going to have on the global supply of gold?
Well, I think, needless to say, it'll increase it, but not significantly. So this is not really a supply-demand situation like it has been at times during the past. This is an investment situation, and people are buying gold because they see inflation, they see possible deflation, and gold holds up very well or even gains during those environments. And so I don't think it's going to have a large effect on what's going on in the gold market. I think that Mr. Chavez has made a terrible mistake nationalizing a number of the mines in the country and then bringing in the Russians to operate them, although he is the president, and if that's what he wants to do for his country, that's fine. It's none of our business, really, although what it's going to do in the future is, with the exception of the BRIC countries, he's not going to get much investment in the country, and they need that. And so I think it's a big mistake. And there are companies that worked on those properties for years and put hundreds of millions of dollars into them, only to have them snatched away, and I don't think that's fair.
I don't either. And a number of there's a couple of Marines that are living down there that have expatriated themselves, living on the far western shores, and they're a little upset. That's where this question came in, and I happen to know who this guy sent this question, so I'm going to get back to another one that he's got here, but I want to go back and acquiesce to a question that was came up above with asking Mr. Chapman. The Mossad messed up taking out Hamas with stolen passport. What's going to be with that messed up mess?